Welcome to the weekly round. Div 1 time, boys.
Yeah, it certainly is. Tommy, how are you?
Big week in Div 1, and we're going to start at Campbelltown Oval, where Ross Trevor, they just flex their muscles once again. They show us that they might well be the team to beat. It was Ross Trevor 12-9-81, Goodwood 7-7-49.
And for Goodwood it was Barry with 2 and Heapy Blokes kicking singles. Burgess, Frost and Barry were in the best for the Goodwood Saints. And for Ross Trevor Das.
Yes, it was a Fantasia with 3 with Bacanello with 2 and individuals to quite a number of other players there with Holm,
7 other players.
7 other players. It just did spread around a bit even though they won the game, so good spread there. Best players Holm, McCullum and Littler.
I'm going to ask you a question without notice. Craig Holm, 2-time medalist in Division 1, getting in the best players regularly, real eye catcher, likes to shake and bake and try and kick long, whether there's something on or not. He's a super player. Chance for a third medal, maybe?
Keeps popping up.
Yeah, we got McKay, 2-time medalist, Holm, 2-time medalist. There's been a lot of really good players in Div 1, but those two seem to attract a lot of the votes.
A
lot of good players could be stealing votes this year. Holm. Well, he played under 23s in 2009, I know because I covered that game. So he would probably be 30 now.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Still playing good footy, which is good.
Went to country to just play with mates.
Yeah.
For $1,000
Yeah, as you do.
Heard a cracker the other day actually that there is a place in the a long way away.
Yep.
And a footballer went up there and said, "Don't talk to me unless you start with 2 a game, 2,000 a game." Former Central District's Premiership player. Of course, you can't legally do that, so obviously they did.
That must have been before the cap.
But he's playing footy somewhere though.
He is.
So it's amazing some of these stories you hear. And
we could get into plenty of stories.
Luckily, we don't pay players that play them. or uni, we don't pay our players.
Yeah.
No, anyway, let's not get into that.
Let's not get into that.
It's a slippery slope. Look, we're going to talk about, before we talk about the next game, obviously there's been an indiscretion at Salisbury North since we last went to air.
Yes.
In the B grade, one of their players has committed a red card offence for abusing an umpire. As a former umpire, you must be hurt by this.
Oh, look, depends
not ideal, is it?
Depends what he said. I mean,
well, I wasn't there, mate, so I'm not going to speculate. But for the 3rd year in a row, it's cost the A grade 6 points, and they now sit bottom on -4. And that's what happens, I guess, when you're on a AAA. What does AAA stand for? Means you're in big trouble if you stuff up again, basically, doesn't it? So not good for Salisbury North. And to top things off, they went down to St Peter's 15-9-99, Salisbury North 12-15-87. Let's focus on the positives. For St Peter's, it was their first win of the year after coming up from Div 2, so they had a chance after 9 rounds to celebrate. Well done, St Peter's.
No, absolutely.
Full credit to them.
A few beers flowing that night, no doubt, and
Chardonnays, maybe.
Chardonnays, exactly.
Maybe a Merlot.
Now find themselves at the bottom of the ladder.
Wouldn't have been anything like your 40th though.
Wouldn't have been like my 40th.
What do we got, boys? What happened? Who did what?
Okay, for St Peter's we had Roach with Copping both kicking 3 with Trenorden as well. Hall with 2, Weech, Trenorden and Roach were in the best players, and for Salisbury North, Das.
Aegis with 4, Hood with 2 and individuals to about 4 or 5 other players there with Aegis best player Hay, Victor, Clinch and Vitnil.
Just giving all the best players, aren't you?
Why not? Just this time we just kept going. Yep. I was just hoping there was some name I couldn't mention. You're going to laugh at me again. Just a bit of spruce this up.
Click on it for God's sake.
I am clicking. No, I was just going to say, I actually was on the phone this morning to Prince Alfred Coach, to my mate Mouse, to Mousy, yes. He very happy at where they're going. They're 5 in a row. He said they're starting to move well, but he said their next 3 weeks is probably, I think they got Rocks. Who else they got? Payneham. He said the next 3 weeks will certainly...
Well, it's round 9, so they had a tough first 3 weeks this year. They're going to be looking for a little bit of revenge because they were 0-2 maybe, or 0-3 even.
0-3 already.
Yeah. But they've certainly bounced back, and they did so with the Avengers. They've brained Uni 18-11-1-1-9, Uni 8-7-55. Basically had control of the game pretty much all day, and it's the Glenelg connection doing the damage.
Him and Billy both. Billy Neely, they both run around in the C grade at 10-15. He's telling me he's still bloody sore today. He said so.
You're right. It'd be a handy C grade.
Anyway, Pitt kicked 8, Clark with 3, Crawford with 2, and Cashew with 2 as well. Pitt, Perryman and Brock Cashew in the best for Prince Alfred.
Yes, Adam Perryman played very well in the grand final. His dad, Ian Perryman, is the development officer in the Glenelg Country Zone. So a bit of a good Glenelg, and does watch the show. So big shout out to the Perryman family.
Yes, and for uni.
Just very quick with Michael Wicks. So Michael Wicks in the best players of PAC. First time his dad played about 250 games with PAC Old Scholars many years ago. So he's a legend now, ex-Nord player, Michael Wicks. So he left last year and out at PAC and obviously doing very well at that.
Yeah, and those 8 players, they struggled to replace at the start of the year. Now they've come in, they're starting to gel, and I called it about 5 weeks ago, though, outside the 5, I said there's one team that I think is going to make a mark.
I remember you said that.
And they certainly have now, and I think everyone would fear a little bit of the red connection.
Yes, the red connection.
But not much about the unit. Painter with 3 individuals to 6 other players there, with Cunningham, Painter and Borg in the best players.
Next game we're going to look at, they're back. They're finally back on the winners list. The Falcons are flying.
Here we
go. In the ornithological battle, a falcon will always be the top of every angle. Studio audience. Look at the bloke eating the grapes over there. It was the Falcons, 14-12-96. Modbury.
Wow, this is the most exciting you've got all night.
I haven't won a bloody game in a month. 11-12-78. We were down at 3/4 time, but we didn't say no. We said yes, and we came with a Thunder 5-1 on the back of Nick the Situation Jolly kicking 5. The big Dukes. So obviously he came down to the Bay on Friday night and he had a bit of a chat. Friday he came down and spent some time with me and I got him back on track.
Oh, it's all to do with you, is it? Yep.
I'll do the best player.
Go for it, mate.
Dylan Orcello, best on ground. Paddy Sanzo in his return to the A-grade was putting Jamo Bauer down back. Fear the power of Jamo Bauer. Nick Jolly best for mine, and Jake Nelson also best. So well done. Brunoli made a sparkling return to form with 2. Some of them actually won awards this week as well. The Falcons are back, baby. We're gonna. Salisbury North lost their point. We're not getting relegated. We're staying in Div 1. I'm happy.
Get around him.
Modbury?
Is it get around him?
Modbury?
Keighley and Fogden. Keighley and Fogden.
I've had a rough month, mate.
Keighley and Fogden kicked 2 each. A heap of other blokes kicking singles. Fogden, Denmead and Phillips were in the best for the Hawks. So,
yeah. Next game was...
You're right, mate. You're over that.
I never do that. I was having some fun. The next one really stood out for me because Tea Tree Gully, 9 goals, 6 in the first quarter. They are without doubt the most dangerous team when they are on at going bang, bang, bang. they can slam on 3 in no time. And they did that really quickly. Took full control of the game. It was Tea Tree Gully 21 goals, 12, 138. Port District 16, 9, 105. We were meant to call that game. Once again, apologies we couldn't get there. Hose had bird flu or man flu or something. I was actually tied up with commitments with the sample, and you yourself had obviously something on.
Yeah, no, day off.
Okay, well, you could have called it by yourself, but anyway. Apologies. We'll be back at the next Tea Tree Gully home game, which I reckon might be PAC in a couple of weeks. That's going to be absolute.
And Tea Tree Gully, it is their past players' day that day as well, apparently.
Beauty.
It'll be a huge day.
Maybe some more sangers and some peas.
Right. Not a bad barbie up there.
Beautiful barbie.
I actually tucked in a bit of it up there when I was up there a couple of weeks ago.
Don't find that hard to believe.
You find that hard to believe? Yes.
What do we got for Tea Tree Gully? Without looking, I could probably guess them, but take them through us now.
Okay, Melville kicked 6, Stent with 3, Schilling and Spittle and Showmakers all kicking 2 each. Stent, McKay and Penny in the best. For Port District Stars.
And Williams with 4, Batty with 3, Daphne with 2, Heffernan with 2, individuals to 6 other players there, with Daphne, Tiller and Clark in the best players.
I was going to say, it's the halfway mark. Let's have a very quick look at the ladder. We said last week that there could be the top 5 could be set, but Payneham just breathing some hope into the season, sitting 6 on 7. But Port District in 5th on 5 and 4. If they win a couple of games, the top 5 is set. Ross Trevor, Tea Tree Gully, PAC are the top 3 for me, who are likely to be there the last week of the year.
PAC
Any arguments?
PAC coming. Yep, PAC coming. No, I'm pretty much the same with you there, Tom. I think,
Payneham need to get on a roll to be any chance to make an impact. I don't think, even if Payneham get on a roll, I don't think. I've actually watched a lot of Div 1 games with live calls. I've seen Ross Trevor, I've seen Tea Tree Gully, and they are outstanding. With Salisbury North's indiscretion, they're not going to win 8 of the next 9 games and avoid relegation. They'll get relegated, unfortunately, because they don't have the depth to cover it. And St Peter's, they've had a win, but it's a long way still off.
I can't remember the last time Salisbury North were in Div 2.
Long time now.
I reckon when I was playing for Walkies, which is late 90s, and Greg Phillips might have coached them, and I don't know if they won the grand final, but they were in the grand final back then. That's about right, isn't it, Hose? You're not even listening.
He's not even listening. He's on Tinder.
Grinder.
He's on Grinder.
Okay, this week, boys, what do we got?
Okay, this week we'll go St Peter's up at Cater Oval. St Peter's taking on Port District.
Port District have been good for mine this year. They're 5-4, and I think they'll beat St Peter's. St Peter's maybe might just come down off the high of having their first win last week.
Yeah, Port District's for me.
Yeah, same with me. It's again going to make it hard for Payneham Unions. They will win this week, so Payneham.
I'll be barracking for Sport. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones that are holding you back. Exactly. Yes, indeed.
The Derby.
I was going to say, am I allowed to call this a derby?
Yeah,
I've got in trouble before. It's Mob up at Max Amber Sport. Max Amber Sportsfield. What's the go there?
No.
Hopefully that's a misprint, but
No.
no, it is true. Mobbery.
Mobbery. Do you know what happened there?
Yeah, Mobbery aren't allowed to have home games at the moment, are they?
They were banned. They lost this home game because one of their, we're going to call him Cretinus, a gentleman who, it's harsh because I don't know the guy. Someone was at the game as a Modbury supporter,
yes,
and they made a completely inappropriate comment to a young female goal umpire, and there was an investigation, and they were it cost them this game. I believe they still get to keep the revenue from the barbecue. I'm not sure how, but anyway, they're not allowed to have this game home, which is a shame because this would have been their biggest drawing game of the year, the derby. That's what happened. That's why it is what it is.
There you go. We're heading up to Max Amber Sportsfield, and it's Mobbery taking on Tetry Gully.
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion. I don't want to get too sidetracked here, but anyone can rock up in anyone's polo, and it's hard, isn't it? Where do you draw the line, and what can you do as a match official?
Exactly.
And there's always that 1%.
Yeah, there's always that.
Every supporter group. Anyway,
Tetry Gully. Tetry Gully for me by a mile. I think it'll be a bit of a blowout.
Yep.
Out to Salisbury North Oval, and it's Salisbury North taking on Goody Saints.
Oof, Goody Saints. I know it's out there, hard game, big crowd, but I think Goody Saints, they're struggling this year compared to previous years, but I think they're going to do the good year.
Salisbury North for me.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say Goody Saints. I'm going for Salisbury North in an upset as well. I think Salisbury North will be galvanised by what's happening. They're at home in front of them. They are going to launch the kitchen sink. This is like going to be like grand final for them because there are going to be some off weeks and some tough weeks coming up.
Yep.
They've still got Joey Hayhood, Solly, Clinch, Stengel. They've still got the quality core, and they'll serve it up to Goody Saints. And if Goody Saints are just a percentile off their game, they'll find a way. And they'll get them this week.
I think so. I reckon Salisbury North for me. I reckon
your tip is based on logic. Yeah, yours is logical. You're probably going to be right.
They've got a point to prove.
Yeah,
I think they'll go out and whether it's Goody Saints or someone else, fear whoever's going to go to Salisbury North for their first home game after this has happened.
Good luck.
Because good luck. Anyway, Uni Oval. We've got Adelaide Uni taking on the
Falcons.
He's back too. Not just
taking on the Mustakas Payneham Nord Union.
Yeah, Payneham knocked them off by 19 points in round one. Jeez, I was happy back then too. It was a tough few weeks after that, but I think Payneham, they knocked us off twice last year, so hopefully we can return the favour and get the chocolates.
Payneham for me. Yeah, Payneham for me. I think they're going to be too good. And the match of the round out at Campbelltown Memorial Oval, it is Ross Trevor Old Collegians taking on Prince Alfred Old Collegians. The battle of the Old Collegian boys.
Ross Trevor got him first time round. Smashed him in the midfield. We talk about the midfield all the time. I think we probably don't do enough service to the rest of the team, but that's where it's won and lost. And I think Ross Trevor just slightly tracking a little better, although PAC are coming.
I'm going to go with Mousie's mom. I'm going to go with PAC.
I'm going with PAC as well.
Yep,
right?
I think, especially now he's got Billy nearly on board with him as well. A bit more of a different set of eyes and things like that. Billy will certainly bring something to the table with Prince Alfred. I think they're going to. This is going to be an absolute red hot
cracker,
big cracker,
massive crowd.
But humdinger.
Ross Trevor, I'll disagree with you boys.
Right.
Thanks for watching the weekly roundup. We'll be back next week.
See you guys.